There's backstage heat on an AEW star following a Full Gear injury. First NXT WarGames match, that's been announced. And a new WWE Faction debuting soon. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Full Gear were good, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Still reflecting on that.
Yeah.
It's still coming down from that one. The tag title match between FTR and the Lucha Brothers, particularly good. Did you realise that Dax Harwood took a bit of a bonk in that one?
No. While I was watching it live, no. I mean, I was very tired and I was kind of at that state where I was on the couch just like, I need coffee. But at the same time, no, it didn't really stand out to me.
Well, according to Fightful Select, Dax Harwood was either knocked out or nearly knocked out by Ray Phoenix about 10 minutes into the match.
Wow.
And this led to Cash Wheeler doing quite a bit of the heavy lifting. And the finish itself, which saw the attempted twin tragic go a little bit awry, and they end up getting pinned. Now, there was meant to be a little bit more kerfuffle after that match about the wrong guy getting pinned, but I think because Dax was in a bad way, they just went, let's just...
we can build that later.
Let's call it, let's call it. There's heat on Phoenix today, according to Fightful Select, because apparently he didn't do the courteous thing to check in on the opponent that he hurt.
Yeah.
And, it's a common courtesy thing to, if you do... knacker somebody in a match just to go and make sure they're all right.
You kind of hear about it, like, I'll call him the next day, check up he's all right. If he needs anything, I'll sort him out. Like that kind of, it's just sort of just check in and see how people are doing.
There was a similar heat, I remember, if you're a fan of a certain vintage, you'll remember from Beyond the Mat when it was the Mankind Rock I Quit match.
Yeah.
And Mick Foley was very upset that The Rock didn't look in on him after the match and was just like, well, at least just pop it around the door.
There's also the Booker T Stone Cold situation, which apparently was quite similar.
Which was the King of the Ring 01?
This is where Booker T debuted pretty much and Austin got injured, and then communication wasn't exactly paramount in the situation.
So people have been upset with Phoenix that he didn't look in on Dax after the match. FDR and Lucha Brothers still set to compete for the AAA World Tag Titles at Triple Mania next month. We don't know whether or not there's any long-term injury to Dax after that. He got a bit of a bump on his head. He was very upset on Twitter because he had family photos to take the next day. And with the addition of a little bump, draw a smiley face on it, say it's a new member of the family. But we said nothing. We said our best to Dax. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. And bit of heat on Phoenix for that this morning. There's a bit of heat from me, right? Towards NXT 2.0.
Why?
Because last night we had our first WarGames match announced.
Okay.
And Regal didn't announce it.
Well, get on with it. Move on. Times change, eh? That's what they want us to just do, innit? Just crack on. Who cares about the past? Let's move forward. Paint splashes. Oh, my God.
WarGames. So we have our first WarGames match announced away from that. So this comes after Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. It was a DQ at the end of their match with Toxic Attraction rocking up. Then we saw Cora Jade make the save on her skateboard. Zoe Stark make the save on her crutches. Io Shirai make the save on the wings of love. Only the two of us together flying high. And this led to Shirai announcing the WarGames match.
Nice.
So we're getting our first one, and I'm not surprised that Toxic Attraction are involved in the WarGames. Them and Diamond Mine seem to be the only factions that could potentially...
Yeah.
It seems weird that they're doing like WarGame stuff with so few factions available.
Just don't think too much about it.
Yeah, that's it. Don't think about it too much.
Just turn up and watch it, right? That's all they want.
Turn up, watch, have a good time. But no, I think Toxic Attraction, I think more so than Diamond Mine, Toxic Attraction makes sense to be inside WarGames. They won't say it, I will. Changes to NXT, potentially, making it a little bit more edgy, isn't that right, Sam?
Yeah, so we've kind of heard NXT 2.0 would be more like a traditional developmental territory, which means that even tonal changes might be ran through that territory before it's ran to the main roster, kind of like a test market, I guess. And the reports are suggesting, or from WrestleVotes, WrestleVotes are saying within the origins of this NXT 2.0 concept was an idea that the program's rating would shift from TV PG to TV 14. Source confirms that's still very much on the table, and the USA Network is not opposed if and when WWE decides to make the change is TBD. So I can see them doing this. I don't, it's something people have clamoured for years, as if TV14 is this magic, platform that will allow for the Attitude Era to just seamlessly reappear overnight. I think that TV14 is a good thing because AEW is certainly targeting, a slightly older demographic than WWE is traditionally targeted. So, if AEW are going to change their general presentation style to allow for things like swearing, to allow itself to be a bit more edgy, to maybe be a bit more bloody on pay-per-view, which we of course saw at Full Gear, then WWE has to kind of toe that line. Because otherwise, well, where's the blood, guys? Where's the swearing? Where's the chairs?
Give us blood.
That's the thing. Those are the questions that will start popping up, and it just depends. But in my head, still, I don't know what it is, but I still believe WWE are just content with being the kind of entry-level promotion.
I think that you can still present great television as well without it being TV14. There's great myths of our time in wrestling, isn't there? That wrestling will be great when ... Like the Attitude Era comes back, blood returns, Kane puts his mask back on, The Undertaker goes back to being Deadman / Biker Taker, the one that he's not at the moment.
The thing is, I genuinely feel that with slightly more tools at your disposal, like strong language, like use of weapons being slightly more allowed, things like that, it allows for better storytelling and it allows for more realistic storytelling. And we've had so much PG for so long. We've done every story, and can you not remember JBL is poopy? Get out of here with you. You can tell stories in PG. We've told them all. Let's move on. Blood and tables and thumbtacks and barbed wire.
They've got Bret Hart and Steve Austin on the bump today because it's the anniversary of their match at Survivor Series 96, and that was only a stone's throw away from that iconic match at WrestleMania 13 where the blood dripped down Austin's face and just made a moment.
And they weren't supposed to do that, but they did it, and it's iconic. And if it hadn't been as bloody, then we'd still be talking about it, but it wouldn't be an all-time wrestling shot.
From bloody to bloody hell, Pete Dunne representing the UK in a North American Championship match next week on NXT. He is taking on Johnny Gargano and Carmelo Hayes for the North American title. Nice. I mean, Pete Dunne, I hope this is just like a little dip into the North American division, and I hope that I feel like Pete Dunne is really at a point where we should have him in the top mix.
Well, it's secondary title level, and I don't know, if he's coming in and they want to do a big slow build, then I think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, good shout.
At the same time, bring him in, have him do this, and then he can feasibly just walk into the main title picture because he's been around so long. So they've got that option there with him. But I'd say either or. But ideally, he could just walk into the title, like the title picture.
Just hoy him straight in there.
Yeah.
This will be Carmelo Hayes' first title defence since beating Swerve Scott ahead of Hit Row's call up to SmackDown. Hit Row doing interesting things on SmackDown at the moment as a faction. But are we ready for another new faction in WWE, Sam Driver?
Quite possibly, because on November 12th, WWE filed to trademark the terms scrap metal. Sorry. I need to just clear my throat to do this. Just
do all of these.
Scrap metal. So that's scrap metal, but with two P's, and metal with two E's instead of an A. Scrap metal, like metal how it usually is. Scrap metal and scrap metal and scrap metal. So they filed scrap metal under different spellings as a name. Now the trademarks could be related to Adam Pearce, who's been using the nicknames Scrap Daddy and Scrap Iron in the past and kind of recently again. But he filed to trademark Scrap Iron last month, suggesting that he has maybe some plans for it. Like maybe my brain always with this stuff is that maybe he's going to work a couple of cheeky little indie dates. Maybe they'll let him do something like that. But apparently, it could be something bigger because of the fact that he's been slightly more heely. We've been seeing him lean into this for months now, but now, this past week, he was kind of super kind of controlling and taking people in and out of the Survivor Series matches, putting people he thinks fit better in there, and maybe this could be the start of something.
Well, think about this. 2 weeks ago, he took out Dominic Mysterio saying, I want a roster of champions for Team Raw for who's your favourite colour 2021. And so I'm getting you out, Dominic. I'm putting Bobby Lashley in.
Pint, Adam, pint. When you're next over, you pint for that.
and then on Monday, he had Rey Mysterio and Bobby Lashley have a match. He went, oh, for Rey's safety, I'm taking Rey out of the Survivor Series match. Then Austin Theory attacks Dominic, and Adam Pearce goes, I like you, Theory. You're in the match. Like, oh, he's going to be a wrong-un, and he's going to have a little roster of wrong-uns.
You know what? Nobody cares about Survivor Series anymore. Nobody. So if they can do something, the event itself is always something to look forward to, but nobody cares about the stipulation now because, we have 2 of everything. Yeah. And, it is just which is your favourite colour. There's no feud going into it. Everybody just buddies up and wears a t-shirt, same colour. But, if they get something out of it, like a little storyline to lead in and lead out, then I'm more than happy with that. It's achieved something at least. And
if it leads to Adam Pearce leading a faction of wrestlers.
Exactly.
That's a good time too. Make that a thing, you cowards. On the Cultaholic podcast feed today, if you missed it, check out the watch along of In Your House 4 from the Classic Raw review, and look out for a brand new episode of the Classic Nitro review from Sam Driver and myself. We're watching every episode of WCW Monday Nitro, and we're heading towards Halloween Havoc, which is a wonderful time.
Yeah, we got a bit of a catch-up episode, don't we? So it's 2 episodes we're doing.
We're going to smash through 2 episodes. You will hear them in due course. It's going to be a lovely time. More news as we get it at cultaholic.com throughout today. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.